I want my Rockland World Radio, baby.
Welcome to Dialogues with Dan, heard on Rockland World Radio every Tuesday evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to check out the archives, which you can access via the menu bar. And now the host of Dialogues with Dan, Mr. Dan Windheim.
Thanks, Richard. Hi, everyone. This is Dan, and tonight we have a repeat guest. I'm speaking with Nancy Rhodes from Rockland County. I'd like to introduce Nancy Rhodes. Hi, Nancy.
Hey, Dan. How are you?
Oh, good, thanks.
Good.
Our last interview was a number of years ago.
Right.
And you spoke about your role as a nurse practitioner. Mm-hmm. Maybe we could start by you telling us, what is a nurse practitioner and what does it take to become one, and what does one do as a nurse practitioner?
So a nurse practitioner is a nurse who has first a bachelor's degree, and then we go on to get a master's degree. You could pick a field of adult or family or geriatrics or acute care. You get training in all sorts of clinical settings. You have to do a thesis. It's a master's, so it takes like 3 or 4 years to complete it. And at the end of that, you get to actually prescribe and diagnose and treat patients similar to doctors. We don't say that we're doctors. We're not.
Yes.
We're nurses with advanced nursing degrees.
Yeah, thank God you're not a doctor. Oh. I like you.
And I like you.
Yes, very good. And so how does a nurse practitioner or NP differ than an RN?
Well, just like I said, we are able to do so much more. A nurse has to take orders from a doctor. I don't have to do that. I can make my own decisions. I do collaborate all the time with doctors. You know, I don't know everything, and I'll never admit I do, so I will use a doctor regularly and collaborate when I have difficult cases and problems.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
So, how long have you been doing this?
Oh, since 1999, I've been a nurse practitioner, and
Yes.
I started my own company 7 years ago, finding there was a need for the elderly, frail people who could never get out to the doctor or medical care at all, needed someone to come to the home. So I started my own company called Mobile Family Health Nurse Practitioner Care back in 2010.
Yes.
And have taken care of over 500 people in Rockland County from the time they were like 80. Some of them came on at 95, 100.
Wow.
And eventually hospice, and then,
Yes.
had passed away in their own homes.
Well, awesome for you.
Yeah, it was awesome. I still love doing it.
Yes. So you never went the RN route?
Oh, yeah.
The RN route?
Oh, yeah.
You were an RN?
Yeah, I was an RN in 79, and then I became a nurse practitioner in 99. So for
Yes.
20 years I worked as an RN.
Right.
And during that time I saw, as a home care nurse, the need to help the people in the home. How can a doctor prescribe something for a person in the home they don't see?
True.
So by me being the eyes for the patient, I was able to advocate for them, and I was able to prescribe for them. And many of them never went to the hospital, ever,
Wow,
which was great.
Yeah, it is.
It was really good to be able to do that.
Yes, so imagine you develop a close bond with your patients.
Oh, absolutely.
And families.
It's very interesting. As you develop the trust, the word gets out, and I get new referrals every day. I have 5 new patients next week. My attrition rate is fairly high. When somebody comes on at 94, I don't have them with me for long.
Yes.
But, then new people come on in the same boat. And
Sure.
They develop a trust with me, and it's led me to another part of my idea about my company. You know, we should morph every time we take care of people or whatever we do to find better ways to do what we do.
Exactly.
And I found that, and as many of us know, is a lot of people are on way too many medicines.
Yes.
And a lot of doctors are treating without knowing what the other doctor is giving them. And by the time I see this patient, they've had maybe 5 doctors. And I've got a pile of pills, and I've got to decide what do they stay on or what do they never need again, based on how old they are.
In a few minutes, we'll go into that area.
Okay.
But first, I wanted to ask you, when actually did nurse practitioners start as a role?
Well, nurses by themselves was Florence Nightingale, and that whole time back in the 1920s, and they were going house to house, so they were already being visiting nurses then. Nurse practitioners, and I don't know my history as well as I probably should, but I'd say probably in the 70s, they've been around since then.
Yes.
And now every doctor almost across America has one in his office if nurse practitioners aren't practicing on their own with their own businesses.
Right. That's a great thing. So I imagine that using a nurse practitioner saves money instead of having a doctor.
Well, we're not going to compare that. What we want to do is say that nurses have a nursing model. We believe in prevention, and I like to peel the onion. I'll take a patient and I peel them down.
Right.
If you peel them down, you really know why are they depressed, or why are they on this medicine and not on this, or why are they not eating anymore, or why do they have a bed sore now and they didn't have one 2 weeks ago. You know, you make a story. You got to be a good listener. The biggest thing, and I'm working on writing a book about this, is people were people like us even at 95. And I tell people to put a picture out of their mother when she was a young girl dancing in a beautiful dress and nice legs. And so the aides and everyone can see that she was just like you once.
Sure.
So
that's a great story. Great thing you just shared. That's very touching.
Well, it's called respect, and it's getting people to understand what you're going through, and everyone needs to take care of each other. So the aide needs to take care of you, and we need to take care of the aide.
Yes.
You know, it's a thankless job sometimes being a home health aide, too.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, it sounds like it's
hard work.
Really privatizing the actual role of a nurse, doctor, caregiver.
Right.
You know, you really develop not just a patient, but a person, a member of, you know,
absolutely.
Beautiful.
Well, we're a team. You know, the caregiver has to know that you're on their side. The patient needs to know that. The aide needs to know that. Everybody needs to feel trust, and the trust leads you to more things you can do to help people.
Yes, I could see that. Yeah, Nancy, could you tell us what are nutraceuticals?
Okay, so as you know, everyone and many of us are on some sort of vitamins or what's called nutraceuticals. I mean, we hear pharmaceuticals, which are drugs.
Yes.
Nutraceuticals are nutritionally based supplements. Pharmaceuticals are FDA approved. Nutraceuticals are not FDA approved. I think what's happening is there's a revolution out there. People want to be well. They don't want to be on a lot of medications. They don't want to have side effects from them. They don't feel better sometimes. When I receive a patient at 90 years old and they're on a statin, like a Lipitor, and they've been on that for 25, 30 years, and now they're 90, and they're aching, I take them off their statin. I give them permission to come off of it at 90. The latest thing, and I need to bring up, is that omeprazole came out in a study recently. That's a drug that's used for heartburn and GERD, you know, belching, burning, esophagitis. Many people I have that are patients are on it or on some form of that and they've been on it for years, given by one doctor for one incident of care, and never came off of it.
Right.
It's not something they should have stayed on forever and ever and ever. But they get to me, and I take them off.
Yes.
They're finding that there are studies that it's linked to dementias, and that they're finding that Alzheimer's dementia and other type of dementias are linked to this problem with these meds.
Really?
So what does that tell us if that's done? Is what are we doing to ourselves? We think we're doing something well. We do it for 30 years, and then we get the dementia and the what ifs.
And there is a connection.
They found that in the studies that just came out recently.
Yes.
So all nutraceuticals are not the same. There's a lot of wonderful products out there, but it's how they're delivered that determines if they're going to work. Pills have binders and fillers to make them stay together and look nice.
Right.
They put yellow number 5 in there or whatever, so they look pretty, and you take this pill. But if your gut doesn't digest a pill, that pill goes right through you and comes out in the potty.
Yes.
And you never got it, and you spent money on nothing.
Yes.
So talking about nutraceuticals, it depends on the delivery system. If you give a powder, and the type of nutraceutical I'm talking about is a company called Nutrimetrics. It's in a powder. When you mix it with water, tepid water,
Right.
and take it on an empty stomach, it says, you're like my plasma or like my tears. I'm gonna take you in, all of it. And you'll absorb it in 10 minutes
Wow.
into the small intestines.
It's amazing. Is there a test or an exam to find how people best absorb their medications? Like instead of pills, or how it's delivered, where people could find what way they best absorb their medications.
There is something that this company has. As we all know, the genome has been out for a while, which
Yes.
means that there's genetically altered food, there's genetically altered products, there's actually drugs that are used based on biologics for cancers. We are moving into the genetics of caring for people, and we're all not the same. Your genetic makeup is different than mine.
Yes.
So this company, Nutrimetrics, has a product called GeneSNP DNA analysis, and I've used it on quite a few of my patients, mostly younger people, and it's swabbing someone's cheek for 30 seconds, sending it to a lab,
Yes.
getting a readout, and you get many of the polymorphisms of them alone, of their genetic makeup, about their exercise, about their mental health, about their absorption, and how to achieve and have your genes behave the best they can based on what you have.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So it is being done where they do find out how people absorb best, and then I guess these methods are utilized, and this is how.
Well, let me give you an example. The
Yeah,
other day I
please
did
do.
one. This woman had the gene test done. She was a nurse, and she told me she had a family history of diabetes, and she had pre-gestational diabetes when she had a baby, which means she's possibly going to get diabetes.
Yes.
And she can't lose weight, and she doesn't know why. And she wanted to know what else was going on, and she's 40. But she didn't want to get diabetes, and she didn't want to have all the problems her mom and dad had, heart disease and things. And she wanted to cut off some of those things and figure out how to prevent. So we
Sounds
did the
smart.
gene snip on her.
Yes.
And we put her on isochrome, which is full of chromium, to help her prevent diabetes. We put her on a complex, B complex, to help her stress. We put her on a product that's very big to this company called OPC3. It is full of bilberry, blueberries, and pine bark extract, and they're all highly potent anti-inflammatories. Inflammation is what makes us sick. Inflammation is what gives us psoriasis, heart disease, glaucoma,
Yes.
mental illness, diabetes, thyroid issues, cancers. Inflammation
Yes.
causes everything. If we can prevent oxidizing by some way, we can prevent and reduce and slow down disease. And
That sounds good to me.
but you have to know where to find it and do your due diligence. These products are all science-based. There's a whole quality control company behind it, watching every bottle, every product. The bottles have dates on them so that they can expire. They prefer you use them during that time. What you need to do is make sure that you stay on it like you would anything else for daily preventative care. The person who got the GeneSnip got a custom cocktail. She got a bottle of all her 10 vitamins she needed and the things she needed to do to stay well.
Yes.
Her little crystal ball that she shakes it up and drinks a glass of it, 8 ounces every day. And we'll see how she does, but she's excited.
That's amazing.
It
It
is.
sounds like a lot of people, well, from our doctors, they've been lulled into a way of thinking that they should just throw up their hands and go with whatever they're told by the mighty doctors.
Well, I think what's happening is as patients don't want to be on medications now. I think there's this revolution, as I've said.
Yes.
We are living longer, but we're not living better. Many of my 95-year-olds and 85-year-olds tell me I want to die. I can't see. I can't walk. I can't work. I can't do anything anymore. So why am I here for 10 more years of this?
Yes.
What's the sense if you don't have a quality of life? If we could change our quality of life by preventing disease earlier, we could live longer and live a better life.
Yes.
If we're going to live long, let's let it be a good one.
Exactly. But you would say some doctors do important work.
Absolutely.
And, like every profession, there's good and bad. Mm-hmm. And many doctors are doing great, fantastic work.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, the other thing is that we all need to keep learning. And one thing that I loved about this company is that I'm actually going to San Diego in October for 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
I need CME credits, like every other person in the clinical field has to show that they have contact hours, that they show that they're staying in the science-based world, they're learning new things. Yes. And I'm going out there to learn more about nutrimetrics down to the cellular level. And in the room will be over 4,000 doctors and dentists and podiatrists and eye doctors and surgeons and chiropractors who all are doing this and using these nutraceuticals in their offices to help their patients really go to the next level of care.
Oh, awesome. Sounds like it'll be an awesome experience.
Oh, absolutely. I love these things because I feel like I'm more empowered to taking care of my patients. I really will know and how to make them feel the best they can.
Fantastic.
Why not?
Yeah, nutraceuticals comes from Newt, which is, maybe you could break it up.
Okay.
Or maybe
Did
not.
you get it out of the dictionary? Well, nutrition is part of the Nutra part.
Yes.
We do know that our food is not what it used to be.
Yes.
I mean, we know there's pesticides. We know there's hormones in our meat. We're sitting ducks if we don't grow our own garden.
Yes.
But how do we know the seeds are even no GMO?
Yes.
So unless we do something to help our own prevention of disease, it's bombarding us every minute of every day.
Yes.
So by knowing that our vitamins cannot come from our food anymore, we need to supplement in order to stay well.
Yes.
And
why do you say vitamins can't come from food?
not like it used to.
Even organic? Took that great word, organic.
We would hope so. But honestly, the other thing is your gut has to be healthy to absorb everything that comes in.
Yes.
And not everybody has a healthy gut. And many of us have lots of trouble with, and I'm talking about the gut, meaning the absorption point of our bodies.
Yes.
If your gut isn't healthy and you don't even know you have a healthy gut or not, you're not going to absorb. But if you have a product that delivers right to the small intestine, no
Yes.
matter what your gut's doing, if it's bad gut, an old gut, a baby gut, a new gut, and it's going to absorb, then you know you're going to get the best nutritional value out of it.
Sure. And I guess gut doctor is what, a
Enterologist,
yes.
right?
So you.
Well, let's talk about some of this, because a lot of people have digestive issues. They burp, they belch, they have heartburn.
Yes. Good idea.
And
Please enlighten us.
I will. So here's the omeprazole. Well, it's a proton pump inhibitor, which means it's got a pump that actually prevents acid from being dumped in your stomach, so you don't get the gastritis and the inflammation in the gut. So you feel better, but then you have no acid to absorb your foods and your nutrients. So that's the part that's missing. If you give yourself one thing, you're gonna suffer somewhere else if it's a medication.
Yes.
If you give yourself a natural product that takes everything from the earth we have,
Yes.
and actually delivers it in a really good way, you're giving yourself something to work with. You really are. So for digestive health, for instance, they have an aloe drink, which is so wonderful that if you think of aloe, you think about a Band-Aid on a wound, a
Yes.
burn. Well, your burn's on your skin, you put aloe on it. Well, if you drink aloe, you solve the burning and the gastritis
Really?
and the inflammation all the way down to the stomach, the gut.
Wow.
They also have a digestive enzymes, which also helps my patients move their bowels, because when you digest your food,
Yes.
you don't back up. You just you actually digest.
Oh.
And it has probiotics in it.
Wow.
So with aloe and probiotics and a digestive enzyme, people can be without these PPIs, these omeprazoles.
Interesting. When I looked up nutraceuticals, it said herbs, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fatty acids, probiotics, and enzymes. Those are all part of.
So that's a very broad term, because you could see as we talk through the products that some have digestive enzymes in it, but another one doesn't. Depends on what you need to make you well. So the cardiac health kit would be more of the omega-3 fish oils, things that would help that.
Yes.
Lipotrim, which is a product that they have that helps to reduce your cholesterol. And OPC3 that we mentioned,
Yes.
the anti-inflammatory, is the number one product that every single person should be on. Because every one of us either has heart disease, high blood pressure,
Yes.
skin disorders, whatever, and arthritis. You have to
Yes.
reduce your inflammation, and that's OPC3.
Oh, and what did you say this is part of?
I'm not sure what you
The
mean.
last thing you said.
OPC3, the inflammation reducer?
Inflammation reducers. I mean, I never even heard about inflammation reduce. That's important.
Absolutely. We're
Yes.
all bombarded every second, and we're oxidizing like a rusty piece of metal. You know, when you leave metal out and
Yes.
it stays out long enough and it gets rained on and stuff, it gets rusty. Well, we're
Yes.
rusting in the inside.
Oh.
So we're oxidizing. We need to antioxidize, and that's what the
Sure.
antioxidants, as we know it, we hear it like a household term,
Yes.
is used.
Oh, amazing.
It's very amazing. I think my patients trust me. They
Yes.
can't get their vitamin Ds up to a normal level. Vitamin D helps for immunity. It helps with energy. If you're old and you can't get out of the chair and you feel terrible, and all of us working hard, and you can't get and people know it. They've been on 50,000 of vitamin D every week.
Right.
We do 2 or 3 bunches of that, 3 months, and you can't get your vitamin D up.
Yes.
This product, if you take it, it has vitamin D with K2. K2 is a transporter. It helps to drive the vitamin D into your system, and the Ds are coming up.
Amazing.
So all my patients are taking the vitamin D, for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah, Nancy.
Yes.
I imagine you can't be a nurse practitioner for everyone in the country.
Right.
Where could someone find a quality nurse practitioner?
Well, every state has a nurse practitioner association. It's not finding one. It's maybe, if they have their own practices, you could go on the site and find them through a practice. If you're looking for one in an office, you can Google nurse practitioners in your state.
Yes.
You could find them. The thing that I want to say mostly is that I want to help in a big, broad way,
Yes.
doctors' offices and people across the country to find these nutraceuticals so that they can help their patients who are looking for them.
Sure. And why is that?
Because people don't want to live sick, and they don't
Yes.
want to live with a poor quality of life. They know they're living longer. They just don't want to live poorer or have
Yes.
less quality. And doctors know their patients are on vitamins. So offer them good vitamins.
Sure.
If you have a question and you want to know more, you can always call my office and I'd be willing to help you.
Yes.
Any doctor across the world can prescribe Nutrimetrics.
Excellent.
And you
Yep.
get your own website and your patients can go on it. It's a revenue maker for doctors who are trying to make it in this Medicare world,
Yes.
which is not very good anymore. You're
Yep.
doing no harm.
Yeah, please give your contact info.
Okay. So my real name is Ann, but Nancy is my nickname, and my last name is Rhodes. And my business number is 845-608-7559. You could speak to my secretary or to me, and I'd be glad to help you with any questions you have. I love to speak to doctors across the country who are skeptical. Their patients are going to find this product with or without them, but it would be
Yes.
better if you got on board because everybody wins, and you'll be happier for it. There is a website, www.nutrimetrics.com, and everyone gets their own website. Mine is /mobile medical health.
Beautiful.
I know when people go on my site, I can call them in California and say, Mary, I don't know you, but I see you ordered vitamin
Yes.
D. Let me show you how to use it.
Yeah, and don't you also work with Skype? And you do, like, you actually work, like, international, or not nationally, don't you?
I don't
With-
use Skype. I know are you talking regarding this company or about me and my job or?
Yeah, your job, you.
No,
Or-
because Skype is still not HIPAA compliant, and I'm not sure where that stands with telemedicine, et cetera. No, I don't.
I thought you said you work, you could work through the computer.
Oh, to order product, you mean?
Or-
Is that what you
Yes,
mean?
something like that.
Well, people think they need to have a closet full of stuff. You don't have to have any inventory. You can just order it for your patient, ship it to their house, and there you go. And it is a business, and it's a
Yes.
great business model behind it. I have 40 or 50 people now working with me, and we're all benefiting each other, and we're all clinical people, all trying to make a living and help others. So I'm spreading the word because I think people need to know about it.
Excellent. So you're out there and you're doing your best, and hopefully you'll
I'm excited.
help people out there.
Yeah.
We all need help. Thank you, Nancy.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having
Nancy
me tonight.
Rhodes, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Dialogues with Dan. Well, everyone, this has been Nancy Rhodes, Dialogues with Dan. Have a great week. Peace.
It's not just radio, it's Rockland World Radio. RocklandWorldRadio.com.